Yeah. Hang on. Nope, that actually happened. Bill Goldberg beat Brock Lesnar in about 1 minute and 27 seconds. 2 spears, a jackhammer, that's your lot. But the question is, was that an up or was that a down? And the only way to find that out is with me, Simon from WhatCulture, as we run through the ups and downs from Survivor Series. And you're already in the right place because you're watching the video, meaning you gave us a little click and now here you are. So welcome. So, without any further ado, it's time to deadlift it up so you can squat it back down. Actually, never do that. Sounds incredibly dangerous. Let's get straight into it. Brock Lesnar, Bill Goldberg, fantasy warfare. Was it an up or was it a down? Drum roll. There's no drum roll. It was an up. Now, I'm not just saying this because my dad won. I'm saying this because if WWE now go in the direction I hope they will, it's all going to make sense. Firstly, Goldberg is ridiculously over. He's the hottest babyface in the company, actually affects ratings, and if WWE had any chance to get him to stick around longer than Survivor Series, then WWE should have done everything possible to make sure he stuck around longer than Survivor Series. The question, of course, is where all this is now headed. Goldberg has now beaten Lesnar twice and in the process made Brock Lesnar look human. Doesn't look like a beast anymore. In fact, the beast has been humanized. If this all comes together for a third match at WrestleMania though and is built the right way, Brock has to win, avenge his 2 losses, it's the biggest mountain he's ever had to conquer, that's going to be huge. Not only does a Brock win put him back to where he needs to be, but you can also then start telling the story of Brock Lesnar, the man that not only defeated The Undertaker's streak at WrestleMania, but was also the first man ever to beat Bill Goldberg clean. That is massive. Then you can take a young up-and-comer to beat Brock, transfer all that magic across, then this all makes sense, and then all is right with the world again. Also, let's face it, this got us all talking, it was a massive surprise, and those are never bad things. I reacted like crazy to it. So yeah, that is an up. Someone explain to me what's happening with the Cruiserweights now, because I don't understand it at all. Brian Kendrick beat Kalisto to retain the Cruiserweight title, which means the division stays on Raw, but how the hell does that work with 205 Live? Does that mean if you're a Cruiserweight, you now have to attend Raw, SmackDown, and NXT? Because that just seems madness. I mean, it's not a big deal. And if everybody's happy to do it, then good for you. I'm glad that you're happy to do it. But you're taking the idea of the exclusive Cruiserweight division and throwing it into the toilet. That doesn't belong there. I just hope this sparks a creative rethink with the whole thing. Doesn't feel like anything at the moment. It feels like a waste of time. So it's a down. The backstage segment with James Ellsworth and Braun Strowman was a massive up. Not only did it remind you about when Ellsworth first turned up in the WWE and got dismantled by Strowman, but it allowed Braun to come across as a monster heel. I mean this from the bottom of my heart too. Braun Strowman is quickly becoming one of my favourite guys on the entire roster. And who thought I'd ever be saying that? It's proof that a slow build works and that less really is more. So Braun Strowman is the complete opposite to the WWE's usual strategy. Zing. When push came to shove, the Tag Team Survivor Series match felt absolutely pointless. Like we just grabbed a load of teams and thrown them in the match because that's what we had to do. So that was a down. But with that said, I thought the match itself was a huge up, especially the fact that Sheamus and Cesaro came out on top. There's clearly a plan for these two, which I guess involves the tag titles, so you may as well make them look as strong as possible. And that is not so bad, given a few months ago, the two were feuding with each other, whereas now we're starting to see them come together as a team. And that's nice, like a storybook that you read, and now we're about 3/4 of the way through. The Usos put in a great performance too, to prove once again they're underused. Even the Shining Stars were alright. What was a down, however, was the New Day almost going out as quick as Fandanbreeze or whatever they're called. Was it a shock? Absolutely, but they're your WWE Tag Team Champions, and they should be made to look strong. If you make them look weak, the belts look weak. So what was the point of doing this? What did it achieve? I tell you what it achieved. Nothing, unless it's actually going to build to something. And it has been announced that the New Day will take on Cesaro and Sheamus on Raw this evening for the tag titles, so maybe that's where it all comes into play. But in terms of the pay-per-view itself, if we just crop it off like that, it didn't make any sense. I like the Women's Survivor Series match. I'm still not that high on Nia Jax, but it was well put together. Nikki Bella being taken out beforehand by Natty was pretty good, because that will now lead to a feud, and everything just seemed to work. It's an up. I especially like Charlotte turning on Bayley afterwards. The whole Raw, shake your fist, brand supremacy, loyalty, gotta win was over, and now it's time to get back to brass taxes, and brass taxes in this case was kicking Bayley's ass. This should be the start to the program between the two, so it was a good way to just wean out of the Survivor Series match into new things. I like it. Although Charlotte just getting straight out of the sharpshooter and running at Natty as if her legs and back didn't hurt, that sucked. That's getting an out of nowhere down. While way too long, the Men's Survivor Series match was solid and did a great job in progressing loads of stories, which as we know, I always like. So it gets an up. The highlight was obviously Kevin Owens getting DQ'd for using the list of Jericho as a weapon, and then Jericho getting mad at his best friend for not taking more care of his precious list. The seeds continue to be planted for a feud between these two, and while I've got an inkling it may happen at the Royal Rumble, I hope WWE holds off till WrestleMania. There's enough there to take it through till then, and it will feel like so much more. Then there was that awesome Shield reunion spot, the fact that Shane McMahon took that spear from Roman Reigns, and trust me, Shane McMahon was probably definitely hurt after that. He did not look good. The ending with Randy Orton saving Bray Wyatt and Bray Wyatt actually finishing a pay-per-view on top was great, because when does that ever happen? And all the stuff with James Ellsworth and Braun Strowman worked as well. So by and large, everyone involved pulled it off. I enjoyed it. Could have cut about 10 to 15 minutes off of it, but who cares about that? Good work. I both liked and didn't like the ending to the Sami Zayn versus The Miz match. So, just for fun, I'm gonna give it a down. The two put on a good show, and I did like the fact that Maurice got involved to save the Miz's IC title, but at the same time, it made Sami Zayn look really stupid. With The Miz locked in the figure four, Maurice went over to the ring bell, rang it, and that made Sami Zayn think that he'd won the match, even though he hadn't won the match. So my question to you, Sami, is what the hell was going through your brain? He was staring right at The Miz when this happened, so he knew firsthand that he didn't give up. What do? Just hear the bell and assume? Don't do shit until the referee says something, you moron. The little things are usually the highlights of any show, and Dean Ambrose saying to Shane McMahon, "Did you hear all that cool stuff I just said?" after he threatened to dismantle AJ Styles at the TLC pay-per-view was just fantastic. So that's an up. A down, though, was Enzo. Listen, if you're gonna have something written on your crotch, make sure it's grammatically correct, alright? It said, if you're reading this, it's too late, and the it's didn't have an apostrophe. Come on, man. You may have missed this, but there was a Mattel commercial during Survivor Series for some new cage thing. I don't know what it was. It looked weird. But guess how the commercial ended? With Roman Reigns standing tall and going over. I got a huge kick out of it. It's an up. And that was Survivor Series for the most part, and it ended with a talking point that we're all going to be talking about for ages. So in that sense, it made sense, especially because now loads of us are going to turn into Raw to see what happens. I enjoyed the event as a whole, but I'm still upset there weren't more stakes. Overall, Raw won 3-2. And if WWE had pushed that more and said, well, if this happens, then this happens, and that results in this, it would have made the whole thing even better. What are you going to do? Oh well. Now make sure to comment below to let us know what you thought about Survivor Series, and then don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You can even come tell me on Twitter at SimonMiller316, and I'd love to know what you thought about the main event. I'm Simon from WhatCulture, and here's hoping for a Brock Lesnar Bill Goldberg match at WrestleMania 33 with the ultimate build-up. Or just screw it, let Roman Reigns beat him. Why not?
I will delete WCPW. It's over!